Top 25 NHL players. Your host, Mr. Rock. Hope everyone's doing wonderful out there in the wonderful world of YouTube. I just need a couple minutes before we start. So, yeah. So, we're going to literally list off all 25 players that Mr. Rock likes. So, yeah. I'm not sure if it's working or not. Want to make sure it is. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to get right into it. Number 25 on the top 25 NHL players with the dirty fucking Dangles boys is Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, number 99, played for Edmonton Oilers, retired with New York Rangers. Um, I was never a huge fan of Wayne Gretzky. That's why he's not on this list, so high on this list. I still considered him a traitor because he did trade his back on Canada, went to LA Kings in '88. But yeah, but overall, you can't literally talk shit about Wayne Gretzky too much because he did win cups for Canada. So yeah, number 24, Jerome Ginla. Um, that this is one of my friend's favorite all-time hockey players, Preston. If you're watching, but yeah, Jerome McGinley's not bad. I didn't really follow too much about him, except for like he did play for both Colorado Avalanche and Calgary Flames. I don't know what other teams he played for, but I do remember he played for Colorado Avalanche, and I was a fan of Colorado as a kid. And I just remember telling my buddy, "Hey man, your player's on my old time favorite team," and he's like, "Shut up." So yeah, but yeah, Jerome McGinley is 24. Number 23, Steven Stamkos. Um, Tampa Bay Lightning, I always wish Steven Stamkos would literally come to Detroit Red Wings at a time just to help him out, but it never happened. It came close one time. It came close, but that deal never got done. But yeah, Steven Stamkos is 23. Number 22, Carey Price. Carey Price, Montreal Canadiens goaltender. You know, my dad was a huge Montreal Canadiens fan growing up, so I got to see a lot of Carey Price. Um, good goaltender. Don't get me wrong; he was an excellent goaltender, but I always felt like he could have literally done something if he went to a different team. I think it was Montreal that kind of let him down. You know, like if you would have put him on, like let's say Nashville or something like that, I think he would have been okay. But number 21 is a buddy of mine actually, who I actually have met before, Jonathan Taves. Story about me and Jonathan Taves goes back years, about 20 plus years ago that we met each other the first time, and yeah, he's a Winnipeg boy. Um, his aunt, who used to be my teacher, no, my teacher that used to be his aunt actually. So that's what I meant to say. So yeah, that's how I got to meet Jonathan Taves, because she introduced him, you know. So, um, number 20, Bobby Hall. Another hockey player I actually did meet was Bobby Hall. I also met Brett as well at the same time. Bobby Hall, the Golden Jet. Um, Very nice guy, in my opinion. Same thing with Brett Hall. Very, very nice people. Um, My dad knew him actually. My dad knew Brett and Bobby, so he introduced me to them. And yeah, like I went to their place, and my dad and them were having a cup of coffee. I was just sitting on the couch, you know, and they were telling me about all their old hockey stories and all that stuff, and it was kind of interesting. But yeah, but also number 19 is Brett Hall. So we just literally mentioned Bobby, so there's Brett. I put him back to back. So number 19 is Brett Hall. Like I said, I don't really hate Brett Hall, but I do not like what he did with the Dallas Stars. His foot was in the crease. You know, and robbing Buffalo back in the day. So number 18 was before my time, but at the end of the day, hell of a hockey player, Maurice the Rocket Richard. You know, I got to watch some old games back in the day, like I had ESPN Classic, whatever it was called, Classic Canada or something like that. But so I got to watch a little bit of Maurice the Rocket Richard. Excellent freaking player. Like holy crap! Back in the day, it was a lot lighter, but also a lot faster. I feel, you know, and Maurice just always outscored everyone. Um, Number 17, Gordie Howe. Number 9, hockey legend. There's nothing I could say wrong about Gordie Howe. The man invented the the triple hat trick. You know, hockey fight, frickin' score a goal, get assist. You know, the man invented it. And at the end of the day, it was literally like, oh my goodness, here we go. You know, got to be one of the toughest SOBs to ever freaking lace up the skates is Gordie Howe, I would say. Not only that, but he played for 26 years with the Detroit Red Wings. You know, so yeah. Um, Number 16, Mary Lemieux. Mary Lemieux, I got put on this list as well. Um, I wasn't a huge fan of Mary Lemieux, but I did respect what he did. Winning the cup for Pittsburgh Penguins back in the day. You know, and just overall, just a great hockey player to literally watch. You know, but yeah. Number 15, Mike Kean. Gotta love Mike Kean. Frickin' used to play for Calgary Flames way back in the day, and everyone else, Mike Kean. Um, but yeah, um, not much to really say about him. I didn't really watch a lot of them, but when I did, I just remember my dad used to be a big fan of his, so that's the reason why. Number 14, Ray Burke. When Ray Burke finally won the Stanley Cup in 2001, holy shit, that brought a fucking tear to most people's eyes. Definitely brought a tear to my fucking eye, when Ray Burke won the Stanley Cup. Because he played for like 20 something plus years, and then he finally got to touch that Stanley Cup, you know. And it was a proud moment, for Colorado fans and everyone else. So, yeah, Ray Bork is number 14. Number 13, Chris Osgood. Chris Osgood, I gotta admit, you know, played for Detroit Red Wings for many years. And also, I think he's the one that had the hockey fight with Patrick Waugh. And at the end of the day, that game is still one of my favorites. Detroit versus Colorado in March of '97. You know, and to this day, I still don't think there's a better hockey game out there, in my opinion, that I have seen in a long time. So yeah. Number 12, Chris Chelios. Played for Chicago, Montreal, and Detroit. I love Chris Chelios, man. Played for many years with Detroit. Hey, funkin' thumping dork. Hope all is well. Sorry, I'm literally stumbling over my words. But yeah. But I do hope you're doing well. But yeah, like I said, Chris Chelios also literally played for many years. I think he played for almost 24 or 25 years before he retired. So yeah, I freaking love Chris Chelios. Um, Number 11, Marc-Andre Fleury. I actually have a Marc-Andre Fleury jersey, to be honest. So, what can you not say about Andre Fleury that hasn't been said already? The guy's a multiple Stanley Cup champion, with Pittsburgh Penguins. Um, he played for the Vegas Golden Knights. He didn't win a cup with them, but at the end of the day, you literally see that he was good, you know. And honestly, I kind of literally don't like Vegas for the fact that they got rid of him. Um, but at the end of the day, you can only keep so many players on your goddamn payroll. So number 10, we're finally into the number 10 spot. William Carson, who also plays for Vegas Golden Knights. Wild Bill, freaking love Wild Bill. You know, like Vegas Golden Knights players are freaking awesome. Number 71, Wild Bill. Like I watched him freaking play, and it's just like holy crap. You know, talk about dirty dangles. He does them constantly. You know, outskating most players. Number 9, Scott Stevens. I already talked so much about Scott Stevens before with like Mock and JYT and them. But yeah, Scott Stevens, I have to say, is probably the hardest hitting freaking player I've ever seen play the freaking sport back in the 90s. You know, like this guy used to literally just get penalties just for fun. You know, it was like, holy crap, man, this guy's gonna literally kill you on the freaking ice and actually enjoy it. You know? But yeah, back in the 90s, hockey was really hard hitting, but Scott Stevens literally took it to the next level. You know? And it was always exciting to watch New Jersey Devils play, you know, back in the day, just to see Scott Stevens. So, yeah. Number 8, Peter Forsberg. Oh, what can I say about Peter Forsberg? That hasn't been said. Freaking guy was amazing with Joe Sakic, Rob Blake on the line. You know, as a Colorado Avalanche fan back in the day, you know, Marilyn Hidu to freaking Peter Forsberg. It was unstoppable back in the day, you know. And if Peter Forsberg's not on your list and you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, please don't be a fan anymore. Just don't, you know. Especially if you're a '90s kid and you said, well, you're a Colorado Avalanche fan. Just don't say it. Number 7, Joe Sakic. Joe Sakic, wow. You know, like both Pierre Forsberg and Joe Sakic literally came from the Quebec Nordiques before there was Colorado Avalanche. And Joe Sakic, number 19, I watched a lot of his games and I was always blown away. Even my dad hated me because I literally went with Colorado Avalanche because he was a Montreal Canadiens fan. And he hated Quebec Nordiques because that was the number one rival. And he literally said, well, how dare you? And I used to tell my dad, well, technically, I go where my favorite player goes, which I think most people know who my favorite player is, but we're getting to that. Number 6. Yeah, number 6, Bill Barber. Bill Barber, Philadelphia Flyers legend. And I mean legend. This guy played in the 1970s on the freaking on the Dungeon of Doom line, I would call, because if you ever watch the 1970s Philadelphia Flyers just for 1 second, you'll see that this team was the most dangerous team in all hockey history. In a way, like these players would literally try to kill you on the goddamn ice, and not only that, but there was literally teams that would walk away after 10 minutes of being on the ice with them. They would walk away. And technically, the reason why like movies like Slapshot got made back in '77 was because of the '70s Philadelphia Flyers. So Bill Barber, I seen him freaking play. He was one of the hardest hitting motherfuckers out there that literally hit so hard that made people actually bleed. And I used to love it. You know, I was all for it. Number 5, Martin Brodeur. One of the most greatest goaltenders to ever freaking play the game. And I'm not joking, for New Jersey Devils. One of the greatest. I have nothing but respect for Martin Brodeur. You know, like when you literally seen New Jersey Devils literally freaking play, it was literally like back in the 90s, especially. It was like a freaking amazing freaking thing. You know, especially watching Martin Brodeur make the saves and all that. Like, there was two people on that were literally the best goaltenders in the 90s. It was Patrick Waugh and Martin Brodeur. And you couldn't literally outbeat these guys back in the day. You just couldn't half the time. Yeah, they'll literally have some bad games, but at the end of the day, when it came to playoff times, holy shit, they turned it on to the next level, you know? So, yeah. Number 4, Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman for Detroit Red Wings, you know, played since 1984 to like, what, 2005, 6? I forget when he retired. But yeah, like I used to watch a lot of Steve Yzerman freaking hockey games as well since I was a Detroit Red Wings fan as a kid as well. And Steve Yzerman was ahead of his time. I hate to say it, but he was. He was literally one of the guys that literally made magic on the ice, and I mean magic. Like if you literally go watch like some of the games, like when he played against St. Louis Blues in '96, when he literally freaking won the cup in 2002, you know, you go watch some of those games and you just go, wow, you know, that's what made him freaking special. And technically, yeah, I can't say nothing more about a guy that's is way more special. Number 3, Pavel Datsuk, aka the Magic Man, as I call him. I call him the real Magic Man. Pavel Datsuk, I actually got to watch live here in Winnipeg. It was like one of his like last seasons actually. So I actually got to see Detroit Red Wings versus uh, Winnipeg Jets live, and I still remember like watching Pavel Datsuk literally score a shorthanded goal on Winnipeg Jets, and I just went, and just the way how he did it, it was like slow motion. It was like slow motion. It was like all the other hockey players were not even moving as fast as Pavel Datsuk, and it was just like, blink of the eye, he scores, and I just went, whoa, you know. And still to this day, I still remember that goal because I literally was blown away. That was literally like that actually happened, you know. And yeah, um, number 2, Nicholas Lindstrom. What can I not say about Nicholas Lindstrom? The best freaking defenseman I've ever seen play the freaking sport. The guy could literally take a slap shot from half the center of the ice and get it in. And I used to be like, how the frick does he do that? Because if anyone knows, that's literally one of the hardest shots to do as a defenseman. Just to give you a little heads up. If you're trying to shoot from literally halfway across the ice and literally try to get the puck in as a defenseman, you usually have defenders literally freaking blocking you, you know. But this guy used to freaking do it and just make it happen like that. And, you know, and he's kind of the same thing with Pavel Datsuk, like I said. I got to see Nicholas Lindstrom literally freaking play just before he retired as well, you know. And I remember watching him play, and I just literally said, is there even a hockey player even better than this guy? Like, you know, and at the point, I just couldn't say no, you know. And number 1, I think most people know who number 1 is. I was this guy literally followed my whole entire career pretty much, you know. Montreal. I used to be a fan of Montreal Canadiens. He would play for Montreal. He played for Colorado. He even coached Colorado. It's Patrick Wall. You know, Patrick Wall is a guy who I actually even got to meet back in 2012. I went to Colorado versus Winnipeg Jets, and I stayed after the game, and I got to meet Patrick Wall, and he's literally a freaking nice guy. If you ever freaking got to meet Patrick Wall, very nice guy. You know, I got to literally talk to him for about 5 minutes before I went home, and yeah, he literally freaking. We just chat about like the olden days and everything else. I miss sleeping in my by myself. I miss sleeping in bed by yourself. Okay, I think it's supposed to be yeah. But hello, Marionette Doll. But yeah, like I just said, this is pretty much the list. All 25 players have been listed. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming out. We had Marionette Doll, we had Dork, and everyone else. Stay tuned for Sunday. Sunday's going to be NBA, what's it called? In the Zone 98. I have to look it up. But yeah, it's NBA In the Zone 98, and yeah. Per? I don't know what purr is. Are you literally being a cat? But yeah, as I said, like yeah, in the NBA in the zone 98, and also next week as well, we're gonna be doing top 25 NBA players. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later, everyone.